Imagine a world where the sun you see in the sky is not the real sun, but a carefully constructed simulation designed by the world's elite to control the masses. As the sun rose over the desert, its rays reflecting off the massive structure that dominated the landscape, the sun simulator was a marvel of modern engineering. An array of thousands of hexagonal mirrors arranged in a honeycomb pattern designed to focus and distribute light evenly across the globe. It was a project born from international cooperation aimed at studying solar radiation more closely and protecting Earth from harmful cosmic rays. Dr. Emily Harper stood at the base of the structure, shielding her eyes as she looked up at the gleaming mirrors. Her heart swelled with pride and excitement. She had dreamed of this moment since she was a child, staring up at the stars and wondering what secrets they held.
Quite a sight, isn't it?
A voice said from behind her. Emily turned to see Dr. Alan Gray, the project's lead scientist, approaching with a smile. He was a tall man with graying hair and a calm, authoritative presence.
It's incredible. I can't believe I'm finally here,
Emily replied, her voice filled with awe.
We're glad to have you, Emily. Your work on solar radiation has been groundbreaking. We're lucky to have someone with your expertise on the team.
Emily blushed at the praise.
Thank you, Dr. Gray. I'm just excited to contribute.
As they walked towards the main facility, Alan briefed her on the project's progress.
We've made significant strides in understanding how to harness and control solar energy. The sun simulator will allow us to conduct experiments that were previously impossible. We can simulate solar flares, study their effects, and develop new ways to protect our planet.
Emily listened intently, her mind racing with possibilities. She couldn't wait to dive into the data and start her work. A few weeks into her new role, Emily was poring over data in her office. The sun simulator was operating smoothly, and the initial results were promising. But as she reviewed the latest batch of data, she noticed something strange.
That's odd,
She muttered to herself. There were discrepancies in the radiation levels, spikes that shouldn't be there. She double-checked her calculations, but the anomalies persisted. She called out to her colleague, Dr. Mark Thompson, who was working at the desk next to hers.
Hey Mark, can you take a look at this?
Mark wheeled his chair over and peered at her screen.
Yeah, what's up?
I've been seeing these spikes in the radiation levels. They don't match our expected patterns.
Mark studied the data for a moment.
Could be a glitch in the sensors. Have you checked the calibration?
Yeah, everything checks out. But these anomalies are consistent. It's like there's an external source affecting the readings.
Mark said, scratching his chin.
Maybe we should run a few more tests. Could be interference from the new equipment.
Emily nodded, but a nagging feeling told her something else was at play. Late one night, long after most of the team had left, Emily sat alone in her office, staring at her computer screen. The anomalies continued to bother her. She decided to dig deeper, accessing restricted files and running complex algorithms to cross-check the data. As she sifted through the files, she stumbled upon a series of encrypted documents. Curious, she used her decryption skills to unlock them, and what she found sent a chill down her spine. The documents hinted at a hidden agenda behind the sun simulator. There were references to behavioral modifications and mass surveillance. Emily's heart pounded as she kept reading, the pieces of a dark puzzle falling into place.
I need to talk to someone about this,
She thought, her mind racing. She decided to confide in Mark, who had always been a trusted colleague. So that next morning, Emily met with Mark in the break room.
We need to talk.
She whispered, glancing around to make sure no one else was listening. Mark raised an eyebrow but followed her to a secluded corner of the room.
What's going on?
I found something last night.
Emily said, her voice low.
Something big. The Sun Simulator isn't just about studying solar radiation. There's a hidden agenda. They're using it for mind control and surveillance.
Mark's eyes widened.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. I found encrypted files detailing the whole operation. They're manipulating the project for something else.
Before Mark could respond, a voice echoed through the room.
Emily, Mark, can I see you in my office?
They turned to see Dr. Gray standing at the door, his expression unreadable. Emily's stomach dropped. Had they been overheard? In Dr. Gray's office, the atmosphere was tense. His gaze fixed on Emily.
I've been hearing some troubling things. You've been accessing restricted files and spreading rumors.
Emily replied, trying to stay calm.
I'm just trying to understand the anomalies.
Dr. Gray leaned over, his eyes narrowing.
Emily, you don't know what you're talking about. Leave this alone for your own good.
Emily nodded, but inside, her resolve only strengthened. She couldn't just let this go. Emily and Mark continued their investigation in secret, meeting late at night and communicating through encrypted messages. They uncovered more evidence of the shadow government's involvement in the true purpose of the Sun Simulator. One evening, as Emily and Mark were working late in the office, her computer screen flickered and a message appeared. Stop digging or face the consequences. Her heart pounded, but she refused to be intimidated.
We have got to get this out. We need to expose the truth.
Mark nodded, his face grim.
We need to gather all the evidence we can and find a way to get it to the authorities.
After weeks of painstaking investigation, Emily and Mark made a breakthrough. They discovered a hidden facility within the Sun Simulator where the mind control and surveillance operations were conducted. Emily managed to capture incriminating footage and documents.
We have everything we need.
Emily said.
I'm going to testify before Congress. This has to come out.
Her voice shaking with excitement and fear. Mark agreed, but as they prepared to go public, the danger escalated. Emily's office was searched, their communications were intercepted, and they were followed wherever they went. The night before her testimony, Emily met with a journalist, Sarah, who had agreed to help expose the truth. Emily told her, handing over a copy of the evidence,
If anything happens to me, make sure this gets out.
I will,
Sarah promised, her eyes determined. The next day, Emily was on her way to testify when she noticed a black SUV tailing her. Her heart raced as she tried to lose them, ducking down streets and alleyways, but it was too late. The world was in shock. Dr. Emily Harper, the brilliant astrophysicist, had vanished. Conspiracy theories flourished, and the media buzzed with speculation. Mark and Sarah faced increasing intimidation, but they refused to give up.
We have to continue her work. We can't let them silence us.
Sarah agreed.
We need to get the truth out there, no matter what.
So they formed a secret resistance group dedicated to exposing the shadow government and uncovering the truth about the Sun Simulator. Despite the shadow government's tightening grip, the resistance grew. People around the world began to question the official narrative, inspired by Emily's courage and determination. Mark and Sarah continued their underground activities, slowly but surely gathering new evidence and allies. The fight was far from over, but hope was alive.